Hi class, this is my informational speech on Disney World and why it is a enjoyable and fun-filled vacation for everyone. So going through the main entrance, it reads the most magical place on earth, and from my experience, this rings true. Disney is one of the best places to go to be happy. And in my recent visit in 2020, which was a decade after my first visit in 2010 when I was 9 years old, I got teary eyed everywhere I went because it was just how I remembered it. It was magical, it was vivid, everywhere you went was fun filled. The food was divine, the rides were amazing, and the point is, Disney can be enjoyed by all ages and genders. Many of the attractions, including the rides, the character meet and greets, all the parks within, have something to offer no matter what you like or are interested in. I've only been to Disney twice, so once in 2010 when I was 9 and the second time in 2020 when I was 19. But there was still so many things I have not experienced in those 2 times that I went. There's new attractions and sites, and every time you're going to experience probably something new every time you go. For instance, the parks, Epcot, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow. That is what it stands for. This park opened up in 1982, and according to Magical Guide blogger named Josh on the Magical Guide website, there's 2 sections, Future World and the World Showcase. Future World celebrates technology, science, innovation, everything that could set your curiosity at ease because it introduced you to so many futuristic aspects of what humanity has brought in the past years. On the other hand, the World Showcase section introduces you to other international cultures, and even the food and the drinks and everything about different countries. It's so unique for an experience of that. The Magical Kingdom, everyone who hasn't been to Disney kind of knows the iconic castle, Cinderella Castle, and knows that that is Disney, and that's like the landmark icon to tell that, it's the magic, it's the fun. Speaking of Cinderella, there are all classic meet and greets there with older princesses, older characters like Alice from Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, and more. This park is also home to favorite rides such as Space Mountain and Haunted Mansion. And then along with that, Hollywood Studios. This park, as of 2018, is definitely one you might want to go to if you are a Star Wars fan because of Galaxy's Edge. This park, you experience the stormtroopers interacting with family and kids, and it's so fun to watch and experience that, especially at dusk, because it feels like you are completely not on Earth, like you're on a different planet. It is so cool. And the rest of Hollywood Studios, if you're not in Galaxy's Edge, it has a sort of 1950s old Hollywood vibe to it. And it's just so unique and cool. Like the different attractions and restaurants are all 1950 themes. It's amazing. The rides, Space Mountain. This is a ride where you will get a big adrenaline rush. According to a writer named Elizabeth Rhodes, this dark indoor coaster sends riders on a wild journey throughout the stars, and the queue and exit perfectly align with Tomorrowland's retro futuristic vibes. I can vouch for that entire statement because when I rode this ride, the entire time I was so frightened and thrilled by the suspense of the darkness on this ride. The entire time I clutched my purse so hard, but we weren't even really going that fast at all. The darkness has a physical illusion to how fast you're actually going on that ride. The max speed on that ride is 27 miles per hour. But I still thought it was worth it because I love roller coasters. But if you're not one that likes roller coasters, there's plenty of other rides to experience within this whole within the whole park, within the whole property of Disney World. Another one that I personally have as my favorite and I will always want to ride on is called the Haunted Mansion. This ride is also located in Magic Kingdom, like Space Mountain, and no matter what time of the year it is, you always feel like you're transported back to Halloween. Because when you get in line for this ride and when you're on this ride, it just it, it's spooky. There's not big jump scares, but there's a sense of spook and thrill to it that it just has the right touch of scariness to it. And anyone can experience this of any age. There aren't many aspects to it that make it a whole lot different besides that it's a slower paced ride, and it's actually called an omnimover ride because while you're sitting in a vehicle, which is a two-seater, it actually rotates and you experience all these mirrored illusions to show that there's ghosts around you, and it's so fun. And then finally there's the Kilimanjaro rides, or safari ride, and it's in Animal Kingdom. And this is where you can sit in a safari tourist truck, and the safari tour guide who is driving the truck speaks on the overhead of the truck and points out to all the animals grazing on the grass and on the rocks and all these different habitats. You can see elephants, lions, zebras, giraffes, rhinos, everything. And it's just so unique to experience that because these are animals you don't see every day. But besides all of the rides, the resorts are amazing. The Caribbean Beach Resort, this sits as a special place in my heart, this resort does, because this is where I stayed back in 2010 when I was a 9-year-old kid. And this is actually back when Pirates of the Caribbean was a popular movie franchise. So the room was Pirates of the Caribbean theme, and it was just so cool to see all the different attention to details. Like the beds were boat shaped and the pool was compass shaped, and there was ships that had slides into the pool. It was so cool. But according to the Walt Disney World website, it describes the resort as such: you celebrate the spirit of the Caribbean with blissful sights and fun-filled activities, including colonial forts, lively markets, pristine beaches, splashy florals, swaying hammocks, and it's sure to awaken the imagination. And moving on from that, there is the Art of Animation Resort, which is the resort I actually plan on staying at when I go to Disney in 2023. It celebrates the details and artistry of all of the classic Pixar and Disney movies such as Toy Story, The Little Mermaid, Lion King, Finding Nemo, and all sorts. The courtyards of this resort and all of the suites are all themed based on these movies, so you'll see paintings of Nemo or Ariel on the wall, and all the furniture is also set to the color of that movie. So Finding Nemo, orange and blue beds, orange and blue kitchen countertop. And then finally, the Polynesian Village Resort is definitely on my bucket list because it's themed like a southern Pacific island, Hawaii. The ukulele background music and the oasis pool and the sense of the island vibes you might experience is just so peaceful to me. And according to the same source, the Walt Disney World website, this has been a fan favorite resort since 1971. So hopefully I'll be able to actually go back to Disney World and experience this resort at some point in my life. But as you can see, there are so many fun-filled aspects to see and do while at the most magical place on earth. So once you've been there and gotten a taste of it, you'll be wanting to come back for more of this fantastic experience, and trust me, it never gets old. Thank you for listening.